Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? It is Well Redbeard. It is a damn fine day to talk about some books. It is May 1st. We are here for my April 2025 wrap up. I got through 16 books, some of them long, some of them very, 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 very short. And it is what it is. So let's talk about them. I had one 5-star read that I absolutely loved, and it's in my top 10 now. Like, I'm already, so yeah, I don't know. I'm already thinking about like a tattoo inspired by this book. I mean, I absolutely love this book. But had probably 4 or 5 4-star reads, 5 or so 3 stars, and then like 4 or so 2-star reads. Nothing one. I don't often give a 1-star read. I mean, normally if I get all the way through it, I consider it's probably good enough to merit 2 stars, but I also don't DNF often or at all. So I don't know. There was one book in here that I did think about 1 star, but whatever. I'm not going to get too deep into talking about each individual book. All but one of these have reviews up. One that I just finished yesterday does not. But anyway, let's talk about them. So again, I go in order of least enjoyed to most enjoyed here. So we're starting off with some 2-star reads here. I got The Girl from Raw Blood by Catriona Ward. Again, there's a review up. I didn't like this book. I have liked all of her other books. She's written 5. 2 of her books, Sundial and Looking Glass Sound, I liked 4 stars, verging on 4.5 stars. Like, I really, really liked those books. But this one was her first novel, and I just didn't love it. So I read Heart of the Monster by Brian Knight. This is a very, very short novella. I read another one of his like last month called King of Souls that I really liked, and his shit's hard to come by. Like, this is low printed, hard to find stuff. One of them, the King of Souls, I just lucked into, but I really, really dug it. Really, really dug the horror elements, and especially the setting and the way it was used. And I gave that book 4 stars. So because I liked it so much, I went out and picked this one up, and I didn't like it as much. I gave this one 2 stars. This is Heart of the Monster. So I finished book 4 of Game of Thrones by George R. Martin, A Feast for Crows. And without saying I absolutely hated it, because hate is such a strong word, I just didn't like this one at all. Like, and I cannot imagine if I was reading at the time of print, when it came out, and had waited for it and got this, and had to realize that this is a 1,000-page book with no real mention of Jon Snow or Daenerys Targaryen or a lot of other stuff. I mean, we spend so much time here with characters that I don't want to say I don't care about, but just that I guess don't care as much about. And then, like, even the ones that we do spend time with that I like, for example, Arya, like, she's with the Faceless Men, if you know anything about the story. And I just kind of expected that I was going to get more there, and I realized that no, I'm not really going to get more about this. I'm still going to get like the same explanation that I got in the show. So I just didn't really like this one. It's definitely my least favorite of the 4 that I've done. I'm still going to finish it. I'm going to do book 5 this month and then be done with this massive unfinished. And I think, now that looking back on it, quite a letdown, that it's going to probably remain unfinished. So anyway, A Feast for Crows, George R. Martin. I read Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I just didn't dig this one either. I mean, again, nothing about it is inherently Mexican. It could be put in the English countryside. You wouldn't know the difference. Minus the occasional use of brief, Spanish. Also, the time period, like, other than the non-existence of cell phones, like, you cannot really tell the time period that this was meant to be. And I just didn't love it. I mean, it's gloomy and gothic and whatnot, but I think I'm finding in general that I'm not a fan of gothic horror necessarily, which is weird because I love gothic setting. But Anyway, Mexican Gothic by Silvia Moreno Garcia. This was a 2 star as well. So the most recent book I finished, Crime and Punishment. I mean, it's a classic. It's, very, very well thought of book. I picked up this cool copy, Paper Mill Press. I got it at a bookstore in Indianapolis. When I go to a small bookstore, I always want to buy something. I knew this was loosely on my list as a well-respected classic, and I grabbed it and then kind of jumped right into it. I just didn't love this, and I could come here and say, oh, it's classic, and oh, I mean, it stands the test of time, and it's wonderful, and it's a must read, and I'm not going to do that. I mean, I just didn't like this. What I will say is that, look at the cover of this. You got an axe. I mean, an axe, with blood everywhere. I mean, there's a fucking axe murder in here, and that was, I mean, not cool, but I'm a horror reader, so. And then but that all happens like in the first section of this book, the first 80 to 100 pages, and then the rest of it, I just didn't love. It's slogged for me for sure, and that's just the God's honest truth. I've got a short review of this that'll probably come tomorrow, and I'll do a full review of it. But Crime and Punishment by Fyodor Dostoevsky. So this is on the edge, right? Like it's 2 stars, low 3, 2, and high 2. It's better than the books I've already shown you, in my opinion. But it still is a 2 star book. So now we're getting into the 3 star reads. Again, I did a lot of self growth / philosophy / creativity, productivity shit. My hair is getting messy. And I don't really know what to do with those. Like, I liked them, I enjoyed them. There's some 5 star principles in them. That, but as a whole, I seem to be settling it at 3 stars, and that's whether it's like a modern book about this stuff or like an ancient philosophy book. I'm kind of, I'm like, did it blow my mind? I mean, like I said, a 5 star thought here and there. I don't know. Anyway, but I like the book. I mean, I like all these ones I'm going to show you. These are 3 star reads. Do the Work by Stephen Pressfield. I did The Neighbors by Anya Alborn. It's my 6th Alborn read. I liked it. 3 stars is nowhere near my favorite Alborn read. So it's not my least favorite either, but kind of middle of the road. The Neighbors by Anya Alborn. I did On the Shortness of Life by Seneca. Again, 5 star principle here. Life is not short. We just waste so damn much of it. But it's ancient. It's not hard to follow. But there's only so many ways you can say that life isn't really short and stop wasting all your fucking time. So anyway, On the Shortness of Life, Seneca. We're getting into the higher 3 star range here. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. I read this, of course. Tons of good shit in here, but as a whole, and some of it will stick with me. Again, what I have found is I like more modern written books that kind of pull all the juicy nuggets out of stuff like this and combine them with more modern stories, like from sports or just success in general, and kind of give us a more modern interpretation of those types of things. But I mean, and yes, I feel weird giving some of these books, or this book especially, 3 stars, but it's high 3 stars, is what it is. Meditations, Marcus Aurelius. I read Less by Andrew Sean Greer. This is a Pulitzer-winning book from 2018. I'm pretty sure it's the 2018 winner. Again, without a better way of saying this, I feel weird saying this, but this is the gay Pulitzer. All the Pulitzers have had for most of the part, have had an angle. I've read one about Native Americans, about Jews in America, about African Americans, and this is, for lack of a better way of putting it, the gay Pulitzer. I enjoyed this book. It is high 3, low 4. I think I gave it 3, but again, I've read 9 Pulitzer-winning books now, so I'm really holding them up against each other each time, trying to anyway. So yeah, this was high 3. All right, this is really the start of my 4-star books. I read The Obstacle is the Way by Ryan Holiday. Again, this is an example of a modern book that pulls all that stoicism and philosophy, along with modern stories, about adversity. Really, I mean, that's the gist of this book: adversity, how to deal with it. And yeah, so I enjoyed the hell out of it. I've become a big fan of Ryan Holiday. Kind of. I don't watch a lot of YouTube. I appreciate that you do. I appreciate that you're here watching this video, but I don't watch a lot of YouTube. But I have been watching a lot of his shit. He's got a bunch of other books, and I've got four of his other books that I'll probably be getting to, like one a month in the next bit. So The Obstacle is the Way, Ryan Holiday, low 4 stars. The Secret History of the Rape Kit by Pagan Kennedy. Again, this is a book that takes, again, not a subject that's uninteresting, but a subject that I really couldn't imagine enjoying reading a book about. I mean, sexual assault, rape. What this book did, though, was really highlighted, really showed a light on a lot of women's issues that, maybe I overlook. This, a lot of it centers around the 1970s, but our author is pulling in modern day shit too. The entire book kind of stemmed out of the Me Too movement, Brett Kavanaugh hearing type thing. So I really enjoyed this. It's an absolute page turner. The Secret History of the Rape Kit by Pagan Kennedy. So I read the 2017 Pulitzer winning Underground Railroad, The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. He won it twice. He won it in 2020 for the Nickel Boys. I like this book better than that. This takes, probably the worst time in American history, slavery, the Underground Railroad, and makes it even more dystopian than it was, which is hyper cool. I mean, imagine if the Underground Railroad was a real Underground Railroad. And another cool thing it does is, like, each state has a different way of dealing with slavery or dealing with African Americans, and each one is like their own. Like, I read something that said it's like each one's like their own island, in Gulliver's Travels. So anyway, really really cool book. 4 to 4.5 stars from me. Underground Railroad, Colson Whitehead. I read Larkus Inning by Silas House. This is a post-apocalyptic book about a man and probably the last remaining dog on Earth. And it's just a cool story. I mean, it's a very, very small... I mean, because I've read a lot of apocalypse books, right, that are big, just sprawling stories. The Stand, Swan Song by Robert McCammon. This is a very, very small picture of survival and what that means for a man that has lost pretty much everybody in his life, and he finds this dog. And anyway, it's a really really great book. This is Larkus Ending by Silas House. He's also a Kentucky author, which I'm a Kentucky person. So all right, I read My Dark Vanessa. This is my second to top book of the month. Really dug this book. Another one about sexual assault, for lack of a better way. I hate saying for lack of a better way. I've said it multiple times in this video, but a teacher has an affair with a 15. She's 15, I think, 15-year-old girl, and we're doing this like 30 years apart. It's been a while since I read this one. So we're current time and flashing back to the story of that sexual encounter or whatever, and it's just kind of a deep look at the mind of a young girl, and really, because even 30 years later, she does not think that she's been taken advantage of. She doesn't think she's been assaulted. I mean, there have been other claims against this man that she loves on a lot of levels, really. And so, it's a look at that, a look at why there is an age of consent and things like that. But really, really dark book. It pulls in a lot of Nabokov, a lot of Lolita, and again, just a book that I wouldn't have thought would have been the page turner that it was. My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. And my top book of the month of April is the 2019 Pulitzer winner, The Overstory by Richard Powers. It's the only book that I gave 5 stars to. When I finished it, I said I don't know that it's my top because I gave 5 stars to one other Pulitzer book I've read, which is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. This is the top. This is the this does take the cake so far of the 9 that I've done. I absolutely love this book, and it's a book about environmentalism, about trees. I mean, we start with like 9 different stories, or maybe it's 8, but um, just different people, but each one of those stories has a central piece that it's a tree. I mean, a tree that's growing in the backyard of this one person, or I mean, maybe the connection is that they don't even care about trees at all. But the idea is that they're all pulled together, and without like really telling you what this story is about, think about the giant redwoods. How you look at a tree like that, and you would think that their roots would be super super deep to withstand wind and storms, and they're not. Their roots are actually pretty shallow. They just wrap their roots around their surrounding trees so that they are stronger for being together. And really, this is kind of a head fake picture that we're supposed to be that way as humans. And as a guy that works from home and is not very social, and spends his time in books and not in social situations, I mean, I don't know that I'm going to change anything, but I feel that, right? Like, I feel that like humans are meant to be that way, with our roots wrapped around each other to be stronger, and so forth. But just a beautiful story, great characters, great situational stuff, and I really love this book. So, The Overstory by Richard Powers. That is it. 16 books. I had like a kind of a loose goal this year that I would read my height. I'm 6'5", and I think that goal is going to be far, far surpassed. We'll see. It was a good month. Last month was a good month, but not all months are good months. Things happen, life happens. We'll see if I maintain my reading pace or not. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I try to do what I enjoy. Like I said, right now I'm doing quite a bit of nonfiction. Whereas 2 years ago, this entire stack would have probably been horror fiction, but I'm doing nonfiction, doing some Pulitzers, doing a few serious books, or classic type books, and then some philosophy and whatnot. So yeah, we'll see. But I kind of let myself flow wherever I want to flow. Like if I look at the stack that I put together for next month, and I'm like, you know what, I ain't feeling Pulitzers this month, which is not the case, because I'm finding a lot of reward in these Pulitzer winning books. I mean, these Pulitzer people are not stupid. I'm not saying they're perfect, but they seem to have their shit together on the books they pick. But yeah, so anyway, read what you want. But appreciate you being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're enjoying all your books, all of them, as much as I am. If not, you're reading the wrong damn books.